Jai Hind everyone, welcome back to the Patriotic IS Gorakhpur. We will start our current affairs classes now. Before that, I would like to inform you that we are going to start a new batch. Those batch are very special for class 12th student as well as those who have passed their graduation. So the classes that is we are running for the demo classes already that is going on. You can join the classes, the timing for the classes, you can note down. The morning batch that is running is it start at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. and the evening batch that is going on that is 4 p.m. Other batch that you can join is 2 p.m. batch. So these are the timing you can join. And here we are conducting a very comprehensive session of current affairs as well as GS paper in such an integrated manner that this the demand for the UPSC as well as UPPSC and its syllabus of prelims as well as mains even for the interview. So these are the things you should know. Beside that, one thing is that those who are appearing for the UPSC 2025, we are going to conduct a open test on this Sunday. So those who want to experience the real time experience of UPSC, and before the UPSC test you should test yourself. So this Sunday, the timing for the GS paper test will be 9:30 to 11:30, same as the UPSC timing. And for the CSAT paper, it will be 2:30 to 4:30. So if those who are interested, they can join the classes. So now we will start our session on the current affairs. We will start with the first news. The first news that is we are going to take is Finding the Rhythm of Painter's Incredible Life. An album sheds light on Raja Ravi Varma Oeuvre. Okay, so here you should know that एक चित्रकार के अद्वितीय जीवन का रिदम ढूंढना एक एल्बम राजा रवि वर्मा. So you should know about the Raja Ravi Varma. Who was the Raja Ravi Varma? He is very famous painter of the modern Indian history, and he born in 1848, just before our first war of independence. Sorry. Okay, so he was famous for the bringing the new art form where this was the amalgamation of European style of academic arts as well as that of the Indian traditional art form, such as the inclusion of different mythology, the historical facts, as well as there was inclusion of religious theme. And at the same time, he mixed with the European style of academic art. Academic art more about the idealism, less about the realism. Academic arts was focusing on the perfection of the art they were making. So these are the things you should remember. And he was belonging from the Travancore state, princely state. So these are the things you should remember. He also started the printing of the uh, pictures of deities, and now whatever you see the deities and the theme and the templates of the deities of the Vishnu, God Vishnu, or the Brahma or the Mahesh, all that was started by Raja Ravi Varma. He started the printing of this thing, and by that he made this access to the God to the common people. Before that, it was very much luxury for the ruler and those who are from the elite class. But the common picture, this picture of the gods reached to the masses. Just it was due to the Raja Ravi Varma contribution. So these are the things you should remember. Next news that we are going to cover is the Dalai Lama may decide on the spiritual successor on 19th birthday. So who is this is the 19th birthday of Dalai Lama, who is the spiritual leader and he is declared as the leader of the Tibetan Buddhist. So he could declare who will be the successor. There are so much speculation that he will, whom should be declared, and here you should be careful that there has been the some of the conflict with the Chinese government. Chinese government has already brought a law in China that whenever there is the successor of the Dalai Lama, it should be approved by the Chinese government. So these are the things, and let's see what is happening, whether he is going to announce the successor or not. Other thing is, you should know that the name of the Dalai Lama is Tenzin Tenzin Gyatso. So please remember what is the name. His real name is not Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is the post who is the supreme spiritual leader of the Buddhism in Tibet. But his real name is the Tenzin Gyatso. So for your PCS prelims examination, you should remember he is the 14th Dalai Lama, and now he is 90 years. You can imagine he was in India in 1915 when Nehru was there. Now still he is alive, and he has declared that he is going to live till the age of 113. So I don't know what is the basis, but he had declared that still I am not that much old. I am going to live 23 years more. So this is the thing he think, and just at the age of young age, we are thinking to live just 30, 40 years, but he is at the 19 and he is thinking to live for the 20 more years. So Beijing, which has introduced a law requiring any successor to be approved by the Chinese government, there is the tussle. India do not want to interfere in this all the matter, but yes, India has sending its maybe its emissaries or the some of its representative here. Dalai Lama assured that he will live at least 113 years, at least it could cross. And here you will see that India is not signatory to the UN Refugee Convention, but we are very much liberal, very much kind towards the Tibetan refugee. So you can use that. This is very important. This refugee convention that was signed in 1951, 1950-51, and further its protocol was brought in 1967. Here it was given the what will be the definition, what will be the provision, who will be mandating. It is the UNHCR that mandate that govern this UN Refugee Convention. So UN Refugee Convention, India is not a signatory of the UN Refugee Convention. You should remember. Here it is given in the prelims. They can ask. So these are the things you should remember. Next news is about the gender and space. Here, this news in very much in the public domain because of there has been the change of the stand of the government as well as judiciary in US and in UK under the female. And you will see that this is the reverse of the gender rights and the gender equality. When we were discussing previously, the thing you should know that this Equality Act of Britain, before that there was one more recognition by the act in 2003, and that was brought the right of transgender. So here you will see that the Gender Recognition Act 2004 that gives the legal recognition of right of transgender people on the marriage, pension, retirement and social security. So here this act, Gender Recognition Act 2004, please be very much clear about that. Gender Recognition Act, it brought the legal right to the right of transgender people on the marriage, pension, retirement and social security. But now this has been reversed by the judiciary and a verdict that has been brought here. Why this trans women is so much in the news? Because of there has been one of the case where one of the trans women who was accused of the rape before transplantation of its sex, he was or she was accused of the rape of the two women, and this trans woman was brought to the women female in prison. That was only prison for the women, and this prison was all women prison. Here he was brought, and after that there was the protest movement that this trans women we cannot believe, only female who are the biological female, they will be recognized as the real women or the female, and they will be provided with the rights of the women and the female. That was the stand. So here you will see that but there was the backlash against the gender recognition reform after the trans women. She raped 2 women, and she was brought to the all-female prison. That there was the protest on this ground, and after that there was the change in the mindset of the executive in the UK as well as in the United States under the Trump's leadership. So these are the things. Statutory interpretation of the women and not the trans women meet the definition of the women under the Britain equality law. Statutory interpretation that terms women and sex in the act referred only to the biological women and biological sex. So these are the things you should remember. Who are the trans women? Trans women who has undergone gender reassignment and has a gender recognition certificate. These are the things. Biologically he or she could be a male and after gender reassignment and getting the gender certificate, she could be recognized as the trans women. So these are the things you should know. Next news is with respect to this Troy movie you must have been watched. So Trojan War, that is very famous, and it was become household name and household story after the Troy movie. So here you will see that the two of the celebrated hero of this Trojan War, they were not ready to join the war with the Greek force. Okay. They were hiding, but the latter, due to the persuasion, one become the he started pretending that he has become mad, and other hide in area where her mother was living with the daughters. So he take the he was pretending as the one of the daughter of sister of his, and but the latter it was the persuaded and both joined. Famous hero of the Achilles of the Trojan War, you must be knowing. So he was not ready to join the war. Same is the Odysseus. Odysseus was also not. He was considered as the main strategy maker of the Trojan War. So please remember all these things. Okay. Next news is the tourist visit Koksar in the Lahul Spiti of the Himachal Pradesh. The snow cover makes wait for the summer. So now there will be the melting, and please now we will locate this Lahul Spiti district that is in the Kelong in map. Please open the map of Himachal Pradesh and locate where is the Lahul Spiti. So here you will see that the Lahul Spiti, this is making border with China at this side, Tibetan area, and here it is with the Aksai Chin. Okay, so here you will see that the Lahul Spiti, this is, and Spiti is the name of the river. Here you will see the river, and this is flowing from the side and this side, and now see it's joined here, this river. Bilaspur of Himachal Pradesh. Here you will see the Manali, the famous hill station, and here is the source of the Vyas river that is at the Rohtang Pass. Here you will see the Kelong is the main headquarter of this district. This is the one of the largest district of India. This is the known as the cold desert. So here there is the only higher altitude and very less population here. The climatic condition is very harsh. The temperature is very low. Here you will see that the near about this Lahore Spiti, we see that this Chenab river, this is originating in India. So here you should remember Beas and the Chenab both have origin in India. Again here you will see that the Uller Lake, and Uller Lake that is being passed by the this Jhelum river. So these are the rivers that are in the news, and here you will see that the Indus that has the origin in the Tibet. So here this is the Tibet, and very close to the Mansarovar area. Its start and its passes, and it's entered into the here into the Pakistan. Here you will see that this Indus, and this is taking turn, and here it is entering into the Pakistan. Other river of the Indus tributaries, they are joining the Indus at the different places. So you should remember what is the origin of different river of Indus water system. UPSC can ask such type of the question. Next important news we will start, that is from the GS paper 2. First news is talking about the Assam CM announce the crackdown on the Aadhaar card holders not in NRC. So here what is the NRC? This is the National Register of Citizens. So this is talking about the citizens. So citizens comes under Article 5, Article 5 to Article citizenship comes under Article 5 to after Article 11 under our Constitution. The citizenship here, this was amended to brought the National Register of the Citizens, and this the National Register of Citizens was envisages that this will be the list of all the citizens of India, and whoever will be not in this register, they will be not considered as they will be not considered as a citizen of India, and there could be the deportation chances. We started updating this list in the Assam, and it was started in 2013, and it was mandated by the Supreme Court. However, later we found that there was so much discrepancies. Out of 3.3 crore of the population of the Assam, 19 lakh were out of this list, and there was the chaos that what will be happening to these 19 lakh of the people who are not in this National Register of Citizens. So what will be happening this people, National Register of the Citizens, who are not part of this? So later it was considered that this was the political move. Further, it was discussed that there was so much corruption from the official in enumeration. You can imagine that if some official comes and you have some document verification, you are not able to provide, you will be ready to give anything, because if you will not provide, you will be thrown out of the country. You will not have any place to leave, or you will be sent into the detention camp. So all this thing was there. Later it was given up. Still we do not have a national level of the National Register of Citizens. In the context of this, we have ousted those citizens of Pakistan. In that context, this is again in the news, and the political use of this is again and again. We later saw that there was the Citizenship Amendment Act in 2019, and that was also become very controversial point, because that provide the that reduce the time frame that was to provide the citizenship under the registration process. It was brought 5 years from the previously it is 12 years. So these things you should remember. And here you will see that there has been the many of the district in the Assam that is considered as the most of these people are coming from the Bangladesh. They have the Bangladeshi origin here. The different districts name has been given, like the Barpeta, Dhubri, Morigaon, and the Nagaon. So these are the things where they are considered as the Bengali origin, and that's why there has been the political stand of the different political parties who are consider themselves as the Hindutva ideological party. They consider that they are like the Bangladeshi Muslim. They should be thrown out of country, and many of them. Many political parties who consider themselves as the secular party, they consider that these are the people who are not able to verify the document, but they have also origin in India. Okay, so these are the stand of the different political parties. You should know this National Register of Citizenship. This is one of the part of Amendment of Citizenship Act of the 1956, and after that we brought this register so that we can bring all these citizens of India in a one register. Next news is India is much more federal today, 75 years after the independence, say Abhishek Singhvi. So here you will find that India is now, as per the federal feature of Indian Constitution, now it is being reflected in the character of Indian states as well, and the relation between union and states. Despite there has been so much tussle, so much conflicting point between the center and state, particularly in those states where the parties in the power is not the same as the party that is in the union. So these are the things. So here you should know, one thing you should remember, that the federalism, this word, is nowhere mentioned in the our constitution. So if the UPSC asks that whether this word federalism is mentioned in our constitution, so the answer will be no. The thing that is surprising it, despite this is not mentioned in our constitution, this federalism, this feature is considered as the basic structure of our constitution. Means this is the core principle of our constitution that cannot be changed. So this is the only feature that is not mentioned in our constitution, but considered as the basic structure. So even in the different judgment, the famous judgment that was the S.R. Bommai case, that reassured that this basic structure is the core feature of our Indian Constitution. Here you will see that this was the speech given by Singhvi. So different thing that he had discussed, that how there is some of the initiative that could impact the basic feature as the federal state, like the one nation, one election. Okay. So here you will see that the such thing can impact the federal nature of Indian system. I think this is clear to the everyone. Next news that we are going to take is the political trilemma and crisis in Europe. So we see that in the Europe there has been some of the thing that is in the rise. For example, there has been the polarization on the ground of ideology. There has been the mistrust in the different race, different communities in the West. Western world, that is talking about the European countries and the North American countries. Mainly this is the US and the Canada, also include the Australia and the New Zealand. Here you will find that these are the countries where there has been the crisis due to the mistrust, polarization, as well as the populism. Populism, particularly the leader, rise of the leader like the Trump. So these are the things that these countries are facing, and these countries were known for the very much taking stand on the liberalism, opening the country's boundaries, also the globalization. All that thing is now being contradicted. Okay, here you will see that these globalization, nation state, and the mass politics, the popular democracy that was then considered as the core principle of these countries, now they have been relegated. So here you will see that this is due to the compulsion arises due to the economic status. There has been the rise of the developing countries. They are more competitive now, and in such context, this economy, those who are considered as the developed economy or the advocates of globalization and liberalization, popular democracy, they are not comfortable with all these ideology that they permitted themselves. Here you will see that there has been the questions of some of the institution that was promoted by these Western world, like the international financial institution, mainly the IMF, has not been perceived or taken in the good view by developing countries such as those countries from the Africa and the Asia. So here, for example, one of the example is given that the imposition of IMF different conditions before providing assistance to the countries or the ensuring the some of the area, you will see that there has been uh, there has been the backlash the IMF and the World Bank that are facing in these countries. Okay, so 2 years, last 2 years we have seen that so many imposition of IMF, such as the like the opening of the market for the private player, for the global world. And in such cases, despite they talk about the market competitiveness, but they are not able to protect or the cushion the local people from the different impact of the entering of the players, private players from the foreign countries. IMF talk about that if you will open your market, there will be the investment from the foreign countries. But these foreign countries, these foreign companies, they are not that much socialistic, or they're not caring about the public interest. They are only have interest of the earning profit. These are the drawback, these are the lacuna that we are facing there. Now, the next news that we will cover from the GS paper 3, first news that we are going to cover is the government brings cyber crime center I4C under PML, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So here you will see that the I4C. What is the 4C? This is the Cyber Crime Coordination Center. So this Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center has been authorized to share and receive the information from the Enforcement Directorate and anti-money laundering laws. So here you will see that this is to promote and mainly to coordinate different agencies so that these laws can be implemented in the effective manner. Here you will see that the Revenue Department under the Finance Ministry include I4C under the Section 66 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So this PMLA Act has been very much in the center of the fighting for the money laundering. And here we have seen that the many of the corruption cases where this act has been used, this has been in the news because of there has been the misuse of the bill condition, and there has been the political use of this act. That's why it has remained in the news. So please remember that. One thing you have to remember, what is the full form of the I4C? It is the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. And now it is mainly authorized to share and receive information from the different different agencies such as Enforcement Directorate and anti-money laundering laws. Okay. You should know that this has been brought under the Revenue Department of the Finance Ministry. So what is the main supervising power? Who have the supervising power? It is the Revenue Department of the Finance Ministry, and it is under the sections, it has been brought under section 66 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So please remember all these things. NIV shares H51 genome data with the public database. So H51, H5N1, for which disease this virus is for, what is the name of this virus? Common name? What is the name? Bird flu or the swine flu? Bird flu, good. This is for the bird flu. For swine flu, it is H1N1. So the data has been shared with the public so that we can bring some of the research and the development, such as development of the vaccines, development of the medicines on the bird flu. So we have continuously seen the genome data that is being used by the different agencies, and that this has been shared into the public domain. Next news that we are going to take is smoking is a major risk factor for the rheumatoid arthritis, says the expert. So what is the rheumatoid arthritis? What is this? You must have been listened about there has been the pain in the joint, different joint, particularly those who have the age, such as the elderly people. So here you will see that the arthritis is mainly, this is associated with the living style of the people, and this is not a disease. This is just a joint pain, and the joint pain that is felt as the different joints, such as the knee, your hip, wrist, shoulders, ankles, and elbows. So wherever there is the joint, there could be the inflammation of the joint. So this is not the disease, but this is the just a type of the inflammation, and this is mainly impacted by the lifestyle. And under this, there could be the inflammation, eye inflammation, in spinal fusion, and the chronic deformities if this is not cured. So why this is happening? What is the main reason? The reasons such as the lifestyle changes and your diet, your working habit, all this should be changed. And here, what you need to do to reduce these arthritis is the regular exercise, yoga, and the healthy diet. And this healthy diet should have the low carbohydrates and the sugar. So sugar and the carbohydrate that you should remove from the your diets, and the permanent joint damage and the deformities that could result due to this arthritis. So please remember this thing for your basic science biology part. Next important news is the second short hot test for the semi-cryogenic engine. So you already we have discussed a cryogenic engine, and in the cryogenic engine, this what we use. The main thing that we use is the a very low temperature. At the low temperature, we try to bring the fuel. And what are the fuel that we use? The oxygen and hydrogen. And this oxygen and hydrogen are generally not in the liquid state, they remain in the gaseous state. To bring into the liquid state, you have to bring the temperature to the minus 250 degrees centigrade, and that then only you can get. In the semi cryogenic engine, you can replace one of the oxidizer, and you can replace it with the kerosene oil. So these are the things that is needed. So please remember this thing with respect to the cryogenic engine. This is the type of the fuel system that we are using into the GSLV launch vehicles. Next important news that we are going to take is a bone collector caterpillars. So these bone collector caterpillars, they are very unique, and you can imagine that they are like they collect the bones, and bones of those animals or those insects where they feed, and they feed just they are very close to the spider this web cob, and whenever some of the insects that get stuck into this web cob, they try to feed on that. So this is the main feature of this type of the caterpillar. They are in the news. Okay. Next important news, that is the most important news for the today's news, and here it is talking about the clean AI on AI data center and the energy demand. So here it is talking about the how we can manage the demand that is arising due to the large data centers that we are developing for the improvement and evolution of the artificial intelligence. So we see that the recent report that has been released by the International Monetary Fund, and it indicates that the economic gain that we are going to get from the artificial intelligence, they will be overweight the environment cost and energy demand from the AI data. So the economic gain will be much more than the energy demand and the uh, what energy demand and the environmental impact of this AI data center. Already we know that there has been the lower social and environmental cost in pursuing the AI ambition. But the thing is that despite all this thing, we need to shift from the traditional energy source such as the coal and the fuel such as crude oil to renewable energy such as the solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy. Mainly we are focusing on the solar energy and the wind energy, because this data center that is mainly developed for the AI evolution can be located anywhere, and we should locate these data centers for AI mainly very close to the AI sources, where the wind energy or the solar energy can easily be available. And already we know that there is a lot of need for the land for these data center to be developed, and those land could be utilized for the uh, generation of renewable energy. Recently, we have seen that from the US, it has been projected that due to the AI expansion, there will be the increase in the cost of the electricity by 9%. So how we can manage this? This can be managed only if we are going to brought the renewable energy instead of the conventional energy to develop these AI data centers. Here you will see that the data centers are very well suited for the captive renewable infrastructure, because these data centers already they demand a lot of land and a large area. So here it will be the win-win situation. Hundred of the acres occupied these data centers, and they are ideal for the installing solar cells alongside other equipments. This is the main ground where we want to bring this. Beside that, nuclear energy could also be installed on these data centers, because the small nuclear reactors, they are very much in the core of the discussion and a debate for the further generation of electricity by the nuclear energy. Okay. So here you will see that beside that, large scale mining of the minerals, water use and production of effluent during this electronics manufacturing also need for the developing this AI very much close to the renewable energy sources, so that we can counterbalance and offset these things, such as the mining minerals. Whenever you mine for the electronics equipment, there is a need for the lot of water, and there are a lot of the pollutants that is known as the effluents that is released by these processes. So here there is the role of renewable energy in the case of developing these data centers for the AI. Here further it is talking about the India's AI compute conundrum with respect to the our India AI mission. So here different area has been discussed, that what are the main thing that we are, that is hurting us, that is creating the hurdle in development. Recently we have seen that the one of the major stakeholder that has been brought into the AI generation. So here it is talking about the, while building a sovereign computer infrastructure may seems like a good move, in the short term, the process impedes the market dynamics and it creates bureaucratic hurdle. So main issue that we are facing is the market dynamics and there is the bureaucratic hurdle, because the government involvement is very much high here. Here you will see that the both provides and the users compute infrastructure. So here you will see that even the users, whenever the users are going to use this, there has been also some of the hurdle created by this bureaucratic involvement. So here you will see that the current approach and the challenge that has been discussed further. You will see that now we are going for the lowest bid price to give any of the contract to those who are in the bidding process, those vendors that will have the lowest bidding price. And you will see that the many are going to the reducing the cost as low as this. So this is good that you are going to get the lower price for your contract, but what is the thing? Whenever you go for the lower price, the main thing that come is the quality issue. The quality that is going to provided by those vendors will not that much up to the standard. And here you will see that the such type of the market model is creating hurdle. Here there has been the comparison with the deep sea. You must have listened the deep sea. What is the deep sea? Deep sea is the one of the AI model that has been developed by the China, and here you will see that this was not based on the market model, and this has been the main reason for the success of this deep sea. This is the Chinese reply to the Western world that we are capable to do and we can do perform well even on the standard of the modern technology. Here you will see that this was based on the hedge fund, and this was not much based on the business model. So hedge fund was provided for the development and the research and for the data centers. So here you will see, and that has cut the bureaucratic process, and that's why we saw that the success of deep sea that has been discussed here. Next news that is talking about the real Indian arbitrator need to stand up. So here this article is talking that the main issue in the investment in India is due to the investor dispute resolution. foreign countries, they think that the process for the dispute resolution for the investment in India is a very complicated process, very much complex, and that's why they talk about what? They talk about that this dispute redressal mechanism, this should be on the basis of the international standard, and we should explore the standard international agencies. However, India is not promoting, not supporting that. India is very much opposing this view that first, India's stand is that any of the investor, they have the dispute with the Indian companies on the Indian shareholder. First of all, or they have the dispute with the tax agencies. In that case, first these investors try to explore the resolution through the Indian courts. And after that, it should go for the higher apex court of India, High Court and Supreme Court. And if they are not satisfied, then they should move to the out of countries. So this is the thing. But the India is not ready for this because India feel that this will enhance the cost, and that's why we asking the investors for the investor to explore the solution in India itself. This is the main thing. However, what we are seeing that the foreign countries, they have uh, pushed India for go for the bilateral agreement in the investment, and we have seen that the such type of the push that is coming from the US and many of the Western world, and this is issue mainly associated with the Western world because most of our investment is coming from the Western world. This is the thing that has been discussed here. Trump turmoil in the bond market, that we are seeing it in a consistent manner. This is the repeated news. We will not go into this. Again, Google expanding AI ambition in India, clash with the US antitrust scrutiny. So again, this is the repeated news that here, whenever AI ambition of the Google that is going to put in India and particularly into area of the generative AI. Generative AI is the copying the model of India's any model with the more and more emphasis on the neurological and emotional area of the human. What these AI are able to do, they are only in the language model, but whenever the emotional things comes in the decision making, they are not successful. And under generative AI, we want to bring the neurological type of the connection and the development into the AI model. So this is all about from the today's news. Here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.